Hey, what's up everyone? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Figma Not Ninja Slayer Ninja character that I have no idea what it's from. Someone sent this to me so I could review it, and I know I did the Ninja Slayer review, and at one point in one of my preview videos I mentioned this guy was also from Ninja Slayer. Turns out he's not. Just looks remarkably similar. I don't know. So let's just look at the packaging and you'll probably know who he is if you're familiar with this kind of stuff. Ninsatsu Hattori HANZOU from Sengoku Taisen. I don't know what that is at all. It's licensed by Sega though, and we have the Kadokawa licensing, it looks like, also. That's all I know. I couldn't tell you more about the character at all, other than it's a badass looking Ninja Slayer figure, essentially, if you're not familiar with the character. So that's kind of cool. He comes with a plethora of cool stuff. We'll get to that though. He stands roughly 15 centimeters tall, which puts him at just under 6 inches. So cool size. He's not super small like some imports, and he's close enough to your standard 6-inch scale so you can get him mixed in with your domestics if you really wanted to. And as you can see, he's very similarly designed to the Ninja Slayer, but we have this cool kind of, it's not really chainmail, but we have that mesh looking armor around the side there, and on the arm we have new armor up here, and on the forearms, loving the details on that. That high gloss with the gold looks awesome. All these little tassels have writing on them, so that's cool. We have the wrapped wrists, that's cool. New armor here, looks like some prayer beads or something around his neck there, and then more cool armor around there. So it's not just a redone Ninja Slayer, it's got some new stuff and it's kind of awesome. Let's look at the accessories. If you guys remember from the Ninja Slayer figure, he came with a whole bunch of clear and printed signs and like comic book cutout type stuff. So he's got a bunch of that. Here's one of them. So that's kind of cool. I like this one. It actually goes like this. I'm sorry, I was holding it wrong. Wasn't paying attention. This one looks really cool. Again, I don't know what any of these things say. I could read some of them, but I still don't know the meaning, so I won't bother. That looks cool. This one, obviously, I can read. That one's cool. This one's cool. Which way does it go? It goes like this. That one's cool. I like these ones because they look like actual comic book cutouts or manga cutouts. That one goes like that. And that one goes like that. And this one goes like that. And this one is a giant throwing star, which has kind of like a pixelated effect on it. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but it still looks really cool. So we have all of those different cutouts, so that's kind of nifty. We have an alternate scarf, which is the same as before, so we just swap that out on this peg, and it looks like it's windswept. So that's nifty. We have the standard Figma display stage with the little extension. That's always handy. He does come with the little baggie, of course. We have a tree of hands. So we have the 2 fist hands, nicely painted armor, 2 open hands. I really love these wrapped hands. They look really, really cool. And then 2 karate chop hands, and then 2 gripping hands. So the gripping hands come in handy because he comes with a really cool katana, really metallic silver on there, nicely painted handle, and he comes with the sheathed katana in the scabbard, which is nicely painted also. And this just comes off. It's kind of like the Figure Arts trunks. There's a handle in there so it looks like it's sheathed, or you could take it off so that it looks like it's unsheathed in conjunction with this one. So that's nifty. We have one more weapon, and that is a giant butter knife. Obviously it's not actually a butter knife, it's a spear, but it comes like this in the package. So you have kind of like this high gloss spear shaft, I don't know what else to call it. Nicely painted little thingy there. That goes in there, and we have the gripping part with like the wraps on there and some details. So that's cool. And then the last thing we have is our little sign holder that goes with the signs that I showed you. So what you do is, instead of pegging the flight stand or a display stage in there, is you peg this in here. It's kind of tricky to get to, but you can do it. Trust me, I have faith in you, you can do it. So you'll put that in all the way, but just for this. So you can use one side for the display stage. Let's use the right end. So one side for the display stage, and the other side for your little baby display stage. And that goes in there like that. You can pose that around, and then you put this on there like that. And of course you can bend it however you want to, and then you put your thing in here. That's just kind of pinches, so you can play with that and get it to look however you want. But that looks kind of cool, I think. Pose him however you want with this stuff in the background And there you go. Alright, let's talk about the figure. Let's go through the articulation. Not enough paint personally. I mean, all of the paintwork that is there is fantastic. All the detail work, really good. If it had shading, it would look fantastic. Right now it just looks really good. Okay, so articulation wise, this piece is soft. It's just a floaty piece. This has a hinge, so it'll swivel on either end however you want to. It is tight inside the torso, so it only goes in some directions, but if you pull it out, it should, yeah, if you pull it out a little bit, you'll be able to pose it up and sideways and whatever you want to. So that's pretty nice. The head itself, let's pull it off because I don't know what it is offhand. Alright, so the head, we have a ball peg, hinge, and then a straight peg. So the head can swivel on that, obviously that moves around, and then we have a hinge. And that's the same joint that the Figmas use for most of the shoulders. I'm gonna bet that's what, yeah, it's just a smaller version of the shoulder. So we have the ball peg in the shoulder, in the torso, the hinge, and then the straight peg for the bicep swivel. So the bicep swivel like that. Hinge, this does get in the way, but it's soft, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So pretty good range of motion, and then you can move around on that ball peg. That's also the same joint that the Figma Solid Snake had in his elbows. Same thing with Guyver. We have the same kind of hinge as the back here. This hinge is the same thing they use for most elbows, actually. So we have the peg on either end and the hinge. And then the wrists are standard ball hinge. Swivel on both ends. The torso is this same type of joint, so it's a straight peg. It's a little bit bigger, but a straight peg going up, the hinge in the middle, and then a ball peg going down into the lower torso. So pretty much full range of motion. And then we have a three-way ball peg, one that goes into the lower torso and then into each thigh or hip. This is a soft piece, so it won't get in the way too much. You have really good range of motion on it, and it looks good pretty much at all angles, so that's good. It's a little bit lighter red though, worth noting. So we have the ball peg that goes into the hip socket, which is how the leg moves around, but then we also get our thigh swivel around that. And then for the knees, just a standard hinge like this one. It's just a little bit bigger. So we get really good range of motion, and it looks pretty good at all angles. It's not fantastic, but it's one of the best Figmas, I think, knee-wise. For the ankles, it's the same type of joint as the other basic hinges. So we have that, and then we get, you should have a little bit of an ankle rocker if they put it in at enough of an angle. So you get a little bit. The way it's designed, you don't get a huge range of motion in that because this is a stiff piece, unfortunately. Looks cool, but it doesn't allow for the range of motion. You get a little bit of an ankle rocker out of it though. And then you have a really stiff toe hinge, which will be used for posing if you want to. So it's a really solid figure, really nicely done, looks cool. Like I said, I don't know anything about this character, but it is one that I wouldn't mind owning. It's pretty nice. If you don't know anything about any of the Ninja Slayer stuff, or whatever this is from, that head goes back on there, but whatever. If you don't know anything about these guys, then this is the one to pick up because it comes with cooler accessories, I think, and having the variation in that arm, really nice. Looks cool. So this is the one to pick up. I recommend it 100%. I'm going to get this guy posed so you can see him in action, but I do recommend him. I also recommend you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.